you have an invitation. It's up to you if you want to come. Well, it's like people don't think over there.
No, they don't. And one person I forgot to mention is our county executive, Greg Edwards, who was very involved in the whole thing, and pulled in some favors from people he knows in state government. Okay. So we had everybody working for us, and I have to say, the end result is a lot of lives have been saved.
You know, you mentioned two groups a little bit in the discussion, or a little bit ago. You mentioned something called the foundation and the auxiliary. Yes. How do they play into all this?
Well, the foundation is the money-raising arm, I guess, of the hospital, as far as donations.
So it's not the board of directors?
No, it's not. No, and the auxiliary is separate, although a member of the auxiliary and a member of the foundation sit on our board of directors. And the foundation does the golf tournament in the summer, and different other events. And they buy equipment. They raise the money to buy equipment like our radiology upgrades. The auxiliary, you have to stop at the hospital and see what the auxiliary just did. The auxiliary is composed of ladies and men, but they run the pie booth.
Member.
Yep, they run the pie booth at the Arts and Crafts Festival, and they have the ornaments they sell.
The ceramic.
Yep. And they do the jewelry sale in the lobby. But if you haven't been in the lobby of the Westfield Hospital lately, you need to stop in, because the auxiliary just had the lobby painted. And I'm wearing one of the colors that is predominant in that lobby right now, and so is John.
Yeah, well, I knew you were coming. The Concord lady was coming.
Yeah,
so
they're replacing the furniture there. It's going to be very lovely, and they've just finished doing the radiology and emergency waiting area too. So the auxiliary really does the nice. They raise the money to do the touches to make it feel really homey, and the foundation does some of these other things that raise quite a bit of money.
So how much money are we talking? Like $50,000 or?
Oh yes, at least.
100, probably. I think I've seen on some of those thermometers,
right.
Like $175,000, and this is money that we all contribute. They get through grants and so forth, and the auxiliary does a lot of their fundraising. And so what they're doing is they're helping offset the costs that the hospital probably would never get to.
Right, that's true, because insurance reimbursement is only a portion of what the cost is. And the foundation will be launching their fundraising campaign too, very shortly, I believe.
You know, this really sounds to me like a really a well-supported community asset, where you've got all these folks supporting it and working together. You've heard the connection with the St. Vincent's and Cleveland Clinic. Wow. You know, maybe the Burger Commission did us a favor. I'm not sure. I know it sounds terrible to say it that way, but wow, look where we are now.
Well, it was losing maternity.
Yeah,
that was really hard. But a lot of the doctors, some of the doctors are still seeing women until the end of their 6th month, and then referring them to a specialist.
Well, that begs the question. So if someone is going to have a baby, where do they go?
They go to Jamestown, Erie, or Dunkirk. We still have the paraphernalia in the emergency room should some woman not think she could make it and comes in and can deliver.
Right.
But we are no longer open for bona fide deliveries.
Just as a reminder, folks, we've had a couple callers. Feel free to call in if you have any comments about the situation here in the Westfield Memorial Hospital, or if you have a question for Helen or an announcement, give us a call. We are here for you. All right. Well, you talked a little bit earlier about the report about excellence for the hospital, and this is compared to Westfield, WCA, this is to Brooks and Guan and so forth.
It's compared to all hospitals.
And so they can find more information on www.myhealthfinder, all one word,
myhealthfinder.com. Yes, all one word.
Okay. So, I know a lot of you guys are computer wizards out there these days. Get out there and have a little look. Who does this study, or who comes up with this fact that this is that we excelled in all these areas in Westfield?
Well, it's called the Comprehensive Analysis by the Niagara Health Quality Coalition's 9th Annual New York State Hospital Report Card.
Holy mackerel.
And it's released for the first time with 2 new components: America's Safest Hospitals and New York State Hospital's watch list for 2011.
Well, that's pretty significant. I mean, this
Yes,
is
it is.
an unbiased organization that comes in and does this study, and well done. Congratulations.
Yes,
That's wonderful.
and you know, we have to report. The hospital has to report everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to report everything regarding numbers of people, what their medical problem was. We on the hospital board, we have a quality assurance committee,
Okay.
and Molly Wiskowski from St. Vincent heads that up. That's her expertise. And we get reports on everything that happens in the hospital on a monthly basis.
Okay, and we being
the board.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's take a breather. We have a caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Helen. Good morning, John. This is Linda Spalding.
Good morning, Linda.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you on this sunshiny morning?
Great.
Couldn't be better.
I'm sorry we can't get your broadcast. We have to do something with our television.
Uh-oh.
But I can hear you even though I can't see you right now. But I wanted to say that it's so glad that you're on about Westfield Hospital because I am just so delighted and satisfied that that hospital is still open. The number of lives that have been saved because that hospital is there is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what we would do without Westfield Hospital.
Well, we all agree
Thank
with that
you.
comment.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, do you have any announcements or anything to share with us?
Well, no, I just did want to mention that Doug and I were very active in the crusade and the advocacy to save your hospital against the Berger Commission report. And Doug was the voice of the Amish man in the letter.
That's right.
So, and he has been able to say that you have helped save his life, too. So we're very happy that you're there.
Wow.
Any announcements? I just am calling about the Office for the Aging. We have senior services. HEAP will be coming up. There'll be meetings about health insurance. People should call if they have any questions about the new health insurance procedures and EPIC. And also I have the Senior Employment Program, the Senior AIDS Program in our office in Mayville is 753-4471.
Can you tell us a little bit about something I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to try to say this word again. You got training for ombudsman.
Yes, ombudsman training, yes. That is a wonderful program. These are volunteers.
Okay.
Who are assigned to the various long-term care facilities. They can be assisted living or skilled, whatever. They go in and they meet with the residents and talk to them to make sure that they are getting the quality of life care that they want and deserve. And they are advocates for these residents, and they work with the residents and the family and the staff at the various facilities. And this is a program that's sponsored by New York State Office for the Aging, and if you go into any facility, any long-term care facility, you will see posted at the door or somewhere in the reception area the volunteer who you would contact. Sometimes they have their picture, who is the representative for that particular place.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
And they're
I didn't realize that.
very dedicated people. They are volunteers.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling in and the nice compliments and comments. And folks, if you're watching, there's lots of opportunities for the Office of the Aging, and give these folks a call. And we'll talk to you next time.
And how is Reed doing with his vacation?
Well, he got a little sidetracked. He was supposed to be in Bermuda, and I guess there's some weather brewing down there, and they ended up in the Bahamas. But I guess it's all good.
I think he should take all the people that work towards the success of Channel 5 with them next year.
Hey, I agree. Reed, when you watch this show, I know you're going to watch this later on CD or something. That's a great idea, Linda. We agree.
Well,
I got the thumbs up from Donald on the cameraman, too.
Right. Everybody that's there, people that answer the phone. And when he comes back on, I'm going to suggest it on the air.
Well, I'll second the motion. All right.
Have a great week.
Thanks for calling in.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, Helen, it was mentioned about the Amish folks, and we sometimes we forget that they're out there. I mean, they are actually a very strong component of our community.
Absolutely.
And from my understanding is that they had a lot to do with this campaign. You want to comment on that?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They're not watching this, I'm sure,
No,
but,
no.
but we'll put our 2 cents in anyways.
But they are a population that we have worked with ever since they came into the community, and they're a growing population, but they're also important to the economy of our county with their farming and their woodworking and all, and it's just great. You know, you show this area to somebody thinking about it, and you have an Amish buggy go by, and they say, "Did you plan that?" You say, "No."
That's everyday
But no,
life.
they did. They did letters. They were filmed, as the lady said, and it was a very touching film to see the buildings and the horses and buggies and all. So yeah, Mose Byler, who's the bishop of the community in this area, has been very involved with his community and saving the hospital.
Now, didn't the hospital have some type of program of midwifery? Or
Yes, we did have a midwifery.
Wifery.
Yes, wifery,
These
and
tough
they
terms today.
actually.
Ombudsman and
Yes.
wifery.
and the Amish did build a building for that midwife, so,
Awesome. So
that worked very
connections.
well.
Good.
Yes.
All right, so the hospital extends its influence to all sectors of this community. All right. Who's in charge of the hospital now? I know our dear friend Karen Sakala has moved on to bigger and greater pastures.
At Cleveland Clinic.
In Cleveland?
Yes,
So
but
who's
that's the
what's going on?
connection still with Karen, is
Awesome.
Cleveland Clinic. Yes, she was replaced by a lady called Candy Susi, and she's also from St. Vincent. She
Okay.
has like a 15 or 19-year history with the Regional Cancer Center and has been at St. Vincent for quite a while. And actually, Karen was her boss. And so she's working out very well. And as I said, we've integrated a lot of the expertise from St. Vincent into our operation.
Okay.
So we have that next level of expertise
Excellent.
on what's going on, and that's
Okay.
great.
All right, so we got about 2 minutes left. All right, and so let's just kind of recap. This is Helen Barron. She's been talking about the Westfield Memorial Hospital, and I'm going to give you uninterrupted, maybe 30, 40 seconds here to say whatever you want about what's going on and since the Burger Commission and the future of the hospital.
Well, we survived. We're here to stay. One thing I didn't mention is we do have hospice services, a hospice bed at Westfield Hospital, so those are things to mention to your physician if you find a family member in need of something like that. But we are a full-service hospital at this point. We have trained emergency room doctors. They're no better. I mean, they're wonderful, and we are busy. So you need to remember, when you have a health problem, have your doctor send you to Westfield, or you come to Westfield Hospital, and be sure your emergency squads know that that's where you want to go.
Sounds great. We're glad to be able to have you here on the show, Helen.
Thank you. I
Thanks
appreciate
for taking
it.
time. I know the grapes are calling to you, and you're going to be harvesting on Monday, you told me?
Yes, yes.
So it's important that we get these things out. But I did want to have Helen on to talk about what was going on at the hospital, because I think there's still some lingering questions out there, and I think you've
Right.
more than sufficiently